Welcome everybody. Thanks for joining Automation of Impact webinar from Yellow Messenger. And today we have Mr. Eric Hansen, CEO of Waste Connections, and we'll just spend some time understanding the journey that Eric and team had gone through, the conversation and automation of impact experience. A brief about myself. I am Murli and I take care of customer success here at Yellow Messenger. Been with Yellow Messenger for about 10 months. Before that, I used to work with Accenture Ventures, and as part of that team, my primary role was work with large enterprises in helping them in digital transformation and innovation. And I also spent brief amount of time at UiPath leading their APAC strategy. Before I get on and have Eric talk about himself and the journey, we'll do a bit of quick overview about who we are, Yellow Messenger as a company, and then hand it over to Eric. So Yellow Messenger is a conversation AI startup. What we fundamentally do is we actually offer a cognitive engagement cloud, which helps in improving customer experience and employee experience, and also building and delivering new age digital solution, right? What this platform enables is how can you take conversation first approach and engage with your customer across the cycle from your marketing to sales to support and service. And if you take back the reverse side of the story, similarly, how can you offer a virtual assistant to your employees to help them solve their problems? Could be HR problem, could be ITSM problem, could be marketing problem. So that's what we built. What we also realized is while we have been building this conversation AI platform, a lot of new age startups have started using our platform to build new and disruptive digital models. For example, one of the edtech companies in India is using our platform to engage with millions and millions of kids in India to administer courses and administer exams. So we are at the really early stage in terms of bringing this conversation AI revolution, and we see that our customers, our ecosystem are using and creating some lovely use cases way more than that we could imagine. Just a bit of stats. We currently transact and process close to 500 million conversations every quarter. And we also have partnerships with about 30 plus large tech SIs and as well as large tech providers like TCS, Infosys, Microsoft, Accenture, and Cognizant. Right? So we have got large partnership. We also work very closely with other channels where, for example, WhatsApp, Facebook, key partners when it comes to providing those services on top of our platform. So with that as a background, I would like to invite Eric. Eric, it must be morning for you. Thanks a lot for taking your time. It would be great if you could introduce yourself to our audience, and yeah, we'll go from there.
Well, hello and thank you for having me. My name is Eric Hansen. I'm the Chief Information Officer at Waste Connections. I've been in this role since 2004. Before that, I was basically the Information Systems Manager here at Waste Connections, and we've grown from a relatively small company of $25 million in revenue to a $6 billion company over the last 23 years. And it's been a great honor to work here at Waste Connections and work with the fine people and take care of the trash for the United States and Canada.
Perfect. Again, thanks once again, Eric, and welcome to this webinar. So just for the audience, as we get started, it would be great if you could talk a bit more about Waste Connections, our company, right? The kind of scale that you people operate and how have you grown over past few decades?
Sure. So we started off as a pretty small company, $25 million in revenue, a couple hundred employees. We have 18,000 employees now. Revenues run rate around probably just a little less than $6 billion. We've expanded from an operation that was primarily only based in the United States on the West Coast to one that's in 46 states, I believe, in the United States and all the provinces of Canada. What we do is we pick up trash and we transport it either to a material recovery facility or to a landfill. And we own many of the landfills and the material recovery facilities also, where we process it, whether that's burying it in the ground or trying to make it into some sort of recycled material. We do this for residential customers and commercial customers in both the United States and Canada. And we have several million customers in both countries, and we're doing pretty well. Where we need help is on the customer service side, and that's why we joined up with Yellow Messenger to build us a nice chatbot.
Great. I wonder what if no, your company doesn't work for a day, you guys sleep for a day, what will really happen?
Well, the place would be a lot messier, a little smellier. We'd get a lot of phone calls, right? And that's one of the challenges we look at. You know, in a pandemic situation, especially like we're in right now, we are what's called an essential service. Our people have to work. Our trucks have to run. If you were to leave that trash on the street for a length of time, it would not be a good situation. So, yeah, we get a lot of phone calls if we didn't pick up trash for a day, that's for sure.
Yeah, it looks like mission critical. When after police, fire services, water and electricity, I guess this is probably more important, right? Less talked about, but yeah, very important for all our day-to-day basis activities. Given, so you have been in this role for very, very long time, and your company it's been about 2.5 decades, right? How has been the customers' expectations has been changing, especially in the digital world that we live in?
So the customer expectations have definitely been changing. What hasn't been changing is how we handle those expectations and we handle those interactions. We have basically run the same customer service model since the beginning of time. You must call us on the telephone and tell us what you want to do. The only way we've evolved from that since then, until we joined up with Yellow Messenger and got a nice chatbot going, was email or a contact us form on a website. And even those aren't that successful for us because we get inundated with so many phone calls and so many emails every day, it's hard to get to all of them. So the customer wants more. The customer wants to be able to talk to us and tell us what they need and what they want from wherever they are, on their phone, on their desktop, on their tablet, whether they're in Facebook, on a website, on a chat session, or a text message. That's what the customer wants, and that's what we're trying to deliver.
Got it. So as you were saying, this customer wants, his demand is changing, the environment is different, and COVID is also accelerating some of those transformations. No, you must be, as a CIO, looking at tsunami of digital technologies coming in, right? And a lot of people telling this is your, let's say, silver bullet to solve your customer success, customer problem or customer experience problem. So how do you really think about, and what are your key initiatives, Eric, around handling this whole customer-centric digital transformation, if I may say?
Yeah, we have to identify which areas you want to improve, right? So you pick the biggest hitters, things like making payments or handling missed pickups. Or, one of our biggest ones is answering the simple question, when is my pickup day? All right? And so you identify those, and you then you quantify, okay, if I can answer this question via a chatbot or a website or some sort of service, how many phone calls will that reduce, and how much better will that improve the experience for the customer and for the employee? Because our customer service employees, you got to remember, they're the ones being inundated with this stuff. Their life's not real good right now either. So if we can take a little bit of the load off of them and improve the experience for the customer, we definitely got a win-win. In terms of the technologies to do this, certainly there are a lot of chatbot companies out there. There's a lot of ways to make a chatbot, but you can't just make a chatbot that acts like a robot. It needs to be conversational. It needs to be friendly. It needs to guide the user to the answer quickly and efficiently. Those are the things we've been looking at, and really pleased with our choice of Yellow Messenger.
Well, that's great to hear. Maybe we could also do double click in terms of trying to understand what the chatbot is currently, what your virtual assistant is currently, what kind of services it offers. If you could shed some light, it would be great to us to hear this.
Sure. Well, we started with the basics, okay? And the basics are, when is my pickup day? And that is our most popular journey right now. When is my pickup day? That's followed by missed pickup. Okay, hey, you missed me. Can you please come back and get it? And some of these, the pickup day answer is really quite easy. How to recycle something is really quite easy. We have that information. That person types in, how do I recycle aluminum? We snap it back through our chatbot, whose name is Trina, by the way. I call her Trina. We snap back that answer to that customer, and we're done. Some of the other things are a little more complicated. Okay, a missed pickup, for example, is something that happens every day, whether it's the customer's fault or all our fault. It doesn't really matter. We still need to process it and go back and pick that person up. For that, because we're a decentralized company, many of our locations have different methods and different answers for those questions. We have to program that on our back end so that we can take that information that comes in from Trina saying, this customer was missed. Okay, let's process that, make that into a work order, get that truck back out on the street and go pick that customer up. Other things we've been doing are start services and requesting quotes. And this has been a really big deal for us because before this year, if you wanted to start service with us, you had to call us. Now, for certain districts, for certain locations, we can actually take the customer's information and start them without them having to make a phone call. We also automate the back end so the customer service rep doesn't have to enter any of that information in. Believe it or not, trash itself is a pretty simple process, trash business. You know, you pick up the trash, you take it to a landfill, and you bury it. In between those two things, it gets very complicated. There's a lot of rules, a lot of guidelines, a lot of laws to follow. So that's where the complication starts. And automating that process really is the most difficult thing. But Trina allows us to take that information, run it through our automation process of starting a customer, and getting that customer started with as little effort as possible by either the customer or the customer service rep.
Excellent, excellent. One of the things, I've worked with a lot of customers and everybody gets enamored by the AI as a technology and then they start trying things out, right? And what happens is they expect, hey, I've got a new shiny tool, AI, and then it will come and solve my problem, right? Fundamentally, it's not going to solve your problem because AI takes time to learn, and even if it learns, it's probably never going to become like a human. So successful implementation across a lot of customers I've worked on is where you're combining the AI, but also having a human. So you're essentially having a human in the loop, and you seem to have gone that approach right from the beginning. So what was your thinking through, and how did you really start the agent plus bot model rather than just going for like an agent or a bot only model?
Right. So as I mentioned before, it's still a very complicated process in the middle, right? You pick up the trash and you bury it. Steps 1 and 2 are fantastic. There's a whole bunch of step point 1.1s, to the 2s that you got to take care of. Our chatbot helps answer the basic questions at the moment. She's getting smarter all the time though, okay? And we're training her all the time, and we're implementing processes on the back end that'll start to answer more and more questions and take care of more and more processes. But those things take time. If we can get the conversation started with the customer, answer some of the basic questions, but if we still haven't got it done, if we haven't answered the question, if we can hand that off to a live agent, then we're seeing a lot of success, okay? The live agent can pick up the conversation, they know what's going on, and quickly and easily they can talk to the customer and say, hey, I see your situation, let me go ahead and take care of this for you. And we're seeing really good success with that. Our customer service representatives like it, and our customers like it.
Awesome, awesome. And you have migrated from any other tool into this, our agent support module, or you never had an agent module to start with?
We experimented with a live agent module, but it never took off. And I believe the reason it never took off because it never had a successful run-up. Okay, it never had a Trina in front of the live agent taking care of some of the basic questions. It was too much work really for the customer service rep to start typing in and asking all these key questions like, what's your name, what's your address? We need that information, okay, because nobody ever remembers what their trash company account number is, okay? Why would you? It's really an insignificant number that you only need like once in your life when you create your account. So in order for us to identify the customer, we need to know who they are. Trina goes through and asks all those questions, and future iterations or future versions of what we're going to do is we're going to take that information and apply a quick keystroke, so that opens up that customer in our customer service tool called a Route Manager for the CSR. Okay, so what we're starting to do here is really start to shave off some seconds and minutes of time for both the customer and the customer service rep. It's going to be pretty spectacular from that standpoint.
Excellent. And what kind of, if you may share, what kind of volumes you're seeing on the platform?
Yeah, we're getting about 15,000 unique users a week, okay,
wow,
logging into us and asking questions. And we've seen our success rate answering those questions improve every week. That's the beauty of this thing. You can't just build a chatbot and let it sit and hope it does everything for you. It's not going to work that way. You have to continue to train it. You have to continue to improve it. And that's what we've done. And that's, again, another thing that Yellow Messenger's really good at, okay, is seeing where the issues are, seeing what the customers want, and then helping us build journeys or adjust journeys to better answer those questions.
Got it. I think one of the key takeaways here is chatbots are never like a build it and forget it system, right? You have to essentially keep working with it and improving it, and you need a platform which is flexible enough for you to make those tweaks and improve upon it.
Yeah, just like your employees, right? You always have to train your employees and teach your employees and learn from them. And on another side of this, we've created a couple of journeys that have taught us some things about our customers, okay, and us some things about the processes that we're taking people through. It's been pretty enlightening.
Awesome. Is there any? Are you also quantifying it back, because I'm sure you're investing certain money, right, in terms of going to a CFO and asking for certain budgets to have your Trina running? But what kind of ROI you have been able to see so far?
Well, I think the biggest value is we're starting to see a decrease in bulking call volumes. Okay.
Awesome.
I'm estimating we're preventing about 25,000 calls coming into our call centers a month. Okay. And we've just gotten started here. So what that means is, I think we're successfully answering 25,000 questions a month. We get approximately 50,000 calls a day. We've never, and I've been here since the beginning of the company, we've never had a program, a call reduction initiative. Okay. It's never the way it works. Calls always go one way. They go up, more and more calls. Now we're starting to see them go down. And that's directly correlated to us implementing our chatbot, Trina. It's just taking care of a lot of those basic, simple questions at the moment. But it's going to evolve to the point where it can take care of more difficult ones. Not the really extreme ones. There's always going to be those ones where you have to talk to somebody. But that frees up our customer service reps just enough, right? So they can take a little longer with those tougher questions. So their call volume's not always on a 5 or 6 or 10 minute hold time. It gets it down to where it's an acceptable 1 to 2 minute hold time. And that's a big deal for people, okay? Customers really appreciate that.
I know you're a techie in heart and you have taken a deeper look at the Yellow Messenger platform. What's been your view, Eric? I mean, maybe a quick overview of your understanding of the platform and what part of it you liked would be great to hear.
So, a person like me is in the technology business for a little over 20 years, probably 25 years, right? And you identify with certain softwares and you can never understand other softwares. And this is one that I was able to understand right away. I really like the platform. I can understand it. I see how it works. I'm not certainly on the development side, but I can see how all that plays out. And it helps me understand how to create the journeys and relate to the developers how the journey should play out. And it's I really like the analytics piece and the graphs, and it very nicely explains what's going on with the interactions between our customers and Trina. What are they liking? What are they not liking? Okay, that's so critical because you start to focus in on where they're having trouble, and you start to dial it in. You make the adjustments to start to see those go away. It's I'm not going to say it's an easy-to-use platform. I'm not a developer. I think if I was a developer, as a matter of fact, my developers, they believe it's an easy-to-use platform. But I can get around it pretty good, and they can get around it even better than me. And certainly Yellow Messenger knows exactly what to do with it. It's a very nice tool.
Awesome. And while you got through this journey, how was your last 2-3 years, right? In terms of you must have looked for various solutions to solve this problem that you had in terms of providing great customer solution, and you must have seen quite a bit of other players as well. So what's been, as a CIO and as a, let's say, fellow CIO community folks, you want to help them understand and navigate this whole clutter, what would be your 4 or 5 top things that you would like to suggest them so that they kind of make a right choice when it comes to the platform which can solve the problem like this?
Well, we built our own chat. Well, I shouldn't say we built it. We hired a company to help us build a chatbot, but it was a very basic one. And it was a good start, but I could tell right away that if you didn't have some intelligence behind it, if you didn't have some conversation behind it, it just wasn't going to be that successful. We had some of the same answers and the ability to provide the same answers, but on the same rollout scale, it was 15% as successful as Trina is now. Okay, so you got to ask yourself, well, why is that? And one is you need the horsepower behind that chatbot. You need the horsepower behind the intelligence, which is a team like Yellow Messenger, okay, to help make that thing better and help identify where the issues are. And that's the first thing you want, okay, is you got to have a great team. And you got to have a great team that you identify with. And I found the team at Yellow Messenger is just so easy to work with and so helpful. And there's never an attitude of we can't do that, or it can't be done, or it's never been done. You see, from where I'm sitting, that happens a lot. I get that response a lot from either vendors or my own people or peers or just the industry itself. That doesn't happen with Yellow Messenger. I say, hey, I think I'd like it to do this. They don't sit there and go, it's never been done. They go figure out a way, and they go, here you go, and they hand it right off. So the first thing you need is a great team on your side, and that's Yellow Messenger. The second thing you need is strong technology and a great platform. Okay. Third thing you need to do is be able to understand it and identify it. And the last thing you need to know is you never stop. Okay. There's no finish line with something like this. You have to prioritize what you want to accomplish, which tasks need to be handled first, which journeys need to be built first, which ones will have the most impact on your customers and your employees. It's not just the customers you're trying to make happy here. You can also make your employees happy. And that's just a double win, okay? Especially in these times when a lot of people are having to work from home. They're not just working from home. They're also now teachers at home, right? And homemakers at home. These people got a lot going on. So if you can just help them a little bit, you know, take off 5 or 10% of the volume of these phone calls, you're going to make a lot of friends, and you're going to make people's lives better. So those would be my top 4.
That's great. And what's the reason behind naming it as Trina? Any particular inspirations for you guys?
Well, you know, I get that question a lot, right? And when we first started, I asked your guys. I asked the guys on the call. I said, well, what's the most popular chatbot name? And they said Andrea. And I said, okay, well, Andrea, I know a lot of Andreas. So I said, well, to keep that as a project name, but I'm going to keep thinking about this. And then I went and looked at all of our customer service rep names, okay? And I realized we had about 30 Andreas. And I'm like, okay, I can't use the same name as 30 other people. People are going to get confused. You know, it's like, hey, Andrea said this or Andrea said that. So I thought, okay, I need to come up with a name that is universal sounding, short, smart, catchy. And so I settled on Trina, and then I went and looked at all our users that had Trina, and we didn't have any. So I thought, okay, I'm going to pick Trina for now. And there have been many discussions on the name. One of our locations actually had a vote and asked me if I would consider changing the name to Recycle. And I thought, that's kind of catchy. So maybe we'll do that someday. But right now, she's Trina, and I really like her.
That's great. And what's your immediate and near-term roadmap looking like for Trina?
Well, we continue to make things better, right? So we've now that we got some of the basics taken care of, we need to identify some of the more difficult journeys, things like missed pickups, things like, taking a customer from the beginning to end of the start service process right inside of Trina. And we can do these kind of things, but they're going to require more back-end work on our side. Trina can gather all this information, and Trina can ask all the right questions. But our systems on this side of it require a little more massaging to make sure we get all that data in correctly, and with all those little specific things that are required for each individual location. That's what we're going to do. We're going to identify things like missed pickups, broken containers. Do I need a bear-proof container? I know it doesn't seem like it's a real big deal, but it certainly is a big deal for the guy who's just had a bear take his trash and throw it all over his yard. Canceling service, going on vacation hold. These type of things are all things that Trina can help initiate and take care of for us.
And currently you have deployed on our website. Are you exploring any other channels to have Trina service? Because there are people using WhatsApp, maybe there is a mobile app. I don't know whether you guys have, I guess, so that's one. Or maybe even Facebook, right? So multiple channels out there. So any expansion plan around the channels that you have? I
want WhatsApp, I want Facebook, I want a text conversation, email,
right?
As many as I can get, because we've had tools on our websites before that customers don't use. We have a What's My Pickup Day tool on our website. Okay, it doesn't get as many hits as Trina does for the same question. Okay, people want what they want. All right, you know, if I'm a big WhatsApp fan, I want these conversations to happen in WhatsApp. If I'm a huge Facebook person, I'd love to be able to talk to Trina on my Facebook. You just got to make it available. You have to make these systems available to people in multiple ways, multiple channels. And then you're going to start to get a lot of this stuff taken care of. I mean, our volume is going to increase probably double or triple once we start getting onto Facebook and WhatsApp and these other channels.
That's great, Eric. I think it was a great conversation. But do you have any questions for me? I can also take a few questions on your behalf.
Well, thanks. It's been nice talking to you. You know, my question is, how do you guys continue to make it better? Right? I've got a big roadmap in front of me of how I want to make it better. How do you make your product better, and how do you keep it going?
Sure. So what we have done is, as a company, we have grown quite a lot, especially with recent funding that we have received from Lightspeed Ventures, which has helped us ramp up our engineering team. So we are doubling down in terms of number of engineers that we get on the platform side of things, because as the platform gets robust, you can build a great bot. So we're building that into 2-3 parts. Number one part is to make an awesome NLP engine, right? So that's already good. We kind of are beating the best in the market when it comes to the NLP capabilities, even with a very, very low, let's say, training data set. We want to continue and keep beating that benchmark. So that's number one priority, and investing quite heavily on that. Second part is the experience of building bot itself. Like as you said, currently the bot build happens with a lot of engineers, right? While a business guy can understand, he can visualize everything, it requires engineers. So what we are trying to say is how can we reduce and make it more and more even low code and no code if possible. But fundamentally that's not possible, because when you work with large enterprise like yourself, there are going to be complex integrations, right? It's going to talk to 10, 15 systems. So what we are planning to do, and the system actually lends by itself, right? We got a very robust IDE, and we have got a very good API management system. So we'll continue to invest in that part of area where on one end of spectrum, it helps in low code, no code. On the other end of spectrum, it helps you serve the large, let's say, enterprises like yourself. Next is all around analytics, because our customers are obsessed with analytics. A lot of conversations happening. If you don't know what is actually transpiring within the system, you're not going to get any value, and nobody is going to be able to articulate ROI. Forget about ROI. Your customers are going to get irritated to start with, right? So we need to have systems, mechanisms, analytics to make sure that it's serving the purpose. So making huge investments there. And fourth is the human in the loop. I am personally a big fan of it, because I think none of the AI systems can run by itself. So the agent module, making it a world-class agent module tied up with AI, as we call it, AI plus human solution, is what we are kind of investing. So these are the areas we're investing from a platform perspective. But what we are also doing is in terms of how we are engaging with customers, right? Customers like yourself. It's been great learning experience, because every industry veterans like yourself teach us a way to build a bot. So our methodology of implementing a bot and scaling it over time is something that we are kind of obsessed. Like personally, my team works on the customer success aspect of it, where we're able to take customer in the predictable journey of success, right, with less misfires. So that's very, very critical for us. And yeah, of course, we are trying to build a community, and thanks to your support, the hackathon is on. We're getting a lot of interest. We want to build a community of developers, so that and then support them with training materials, resources, and a lot of other paraphernalias, so that there are enough pool of developers out there who can take this platform, build it, and then run by themselves, but supported by us, obviously. So that's broadly, Eric, in terms of how our vision is and how we are driving it. We're going to drive the next 12 to 18 months.
Well, those are great thoughts. I'm glad to hear them. I'm looking forward to watching your company become even more successful.
Terrific. Thanks. As long as well-wishers like you are there, I'm sure we'll get to that. And thanks a lot for your support, Eric.
We'll do it together.